Hi everyone. Today we're going to see about Java programming language. This is the topic we're going to cover today. That is Java data types. So data types are divided into two groups, which are primitive data type. It includes a int, long, float, double, boolean, char, byte, and short. The non-primitive data types such as string and arrays and classes. Here, these are the primitive data type which will be byte. It store the whole numbers, both positive and negative number. Short, it stores the whole number from um, from bigger numbers, which is bigger positive and bigger negative numbers. Yes, comparatively with int, it will be more shorter than integers. Okay, the short stores the numbers from the huge volumes, which is uh, huge numbers. Okay, comparatively, it will be it stores a it takes more memory spaces. Okay, integer takes more memory spaces than byte and short. Yes, by comparing this description, you will understand, right? So long. Here you can see it takes more memory spaces than integer. Yes, yes. Okay. Float. It stores the fractional numbers, right? It stores only the decimal digits only. Okay, double in double, you can see it takes more decimal digit numbers than float. Yes, comparatively, one is bigger than another, one is bigger than another. Yes, here you can see Boolean stores only true or false value. You can you can compare only true or false. A character stores only single character or letter or else an ASCII values also. We can store an ASCII value in a character. We cannot change the type. Which data type? We can change the type. Okay. If your once if you variables declared with one type, see here the int my numbers 5. The value is 5, right? Again, we can't redeclare with the string values. See here, this is string value. We can't store it in a integer data type. Yes. Similarly, similarly in string, the string is stored with string values, and we can't redeclare with the integer values. That is 1, 2, 3, right? It will throw an error. The compiler will throw an error. Okay. Next is numbers. The primitive number types are divided into two groups. One is integer, and another one is float. Yes. So integer stores byte and short, int, and long. The floating point types are stores only a fractional digits, which is uh, decimal points. It stores only decimal points number. Okay. So integer types. So integer data types can store whole numbers, both positive and negative, right? The similar thing it will be executed in the example. Yes. Okay. Next, floating point types. See here, these are the such as examples. Whenever you are needed a number with decimal, we can use float or else double. Okay. Here it is 9.99 or 3.14515. We can use float. For this particular, if you want particularly even a decimal point numbers, you can use a float or else double. Yes. Okay. See here, there are the two examples for float and double. If you want to mention which type it is, float, and which value it is. At the last, we have to mention it is a float or else double. Okay. Or else it will be defaultly taken as a float values. Okay. Next is Boolean data type. See here, in this Boolean data type, can only have one of two values like yes, no, no, off, true, false. Only these two values can be used. Whenever you need a true or false value, we can use a Boolean data type. This Boolean data type is Java fun. Yes, it is true, right? The Boolean is fish tasty. It is not right. There you can use a Boolean data. So if you are asking this variable to print, it will it throws the output of true. Yes, it will shows the true, and it will if you call this variable, it will shows a false, right? This is how it will works. Okay. In char, next is the char data type. We used to store a single character, right? With a single quotes. In previous video, we see about the strings will store a double quotes. The character will store in a single quote. Similarly, the same method, the character, it will be declared with migrate and the value have with the single quotes as a single character. If you call this variable name, it will throws the value of B. Okay. Next, alternatively, as I said, in char, we can use an ASCII values also. Okay, if you declared one variable, in this variable we are mentioned as a character type and the data which is 65, it will pick the 65 ASCII value and it will print the ASCII value character, which is 65 is uh, A or else B. This kind of characters will be thrown in the output. Okay, so I think the 65 is A and 66 is B and 67 is C. Yes. Okay. The Java non-primitive data type. Here you see, previously we see about primitive data types. Now we'll see about non-primitive data types. So non-primitive data types are string, array, and class. Basically, the non-primitive data types are storing a uh, storing a values which is uh, takes more memory space. That's why these are the non-primitive data types. Yes, the string data type used to store the sequence of character text. The string values must surrounded with the double quotes. Yes. Okay. So these are the primitive or non-primitive data types. I think you all understood about how these data types are working, on how we will declare with the data type and how it will be executed, right? Okay. These are the today's topics. Thank you for watching.